Shehryar, I think we should start. Then later on, other participants and sir will also join.
Okay, let's wait for sir to join the meeting and we will start our meeting. Yes, sir, Sipten is now unavailable, so I would like to request the man who is behind this meeting, Mr. Musawar Tanoli, the president of Youth Diplomacy Forum, to give his remarks to conclude this session.
Thank you very much, Shehryar. I hope I am audible. So yes, it was very informative and insightful talk by Assistant Professor Dr. Syed Septan Shah. So we are very delighted to listen from him about the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his achievements, his political career. He was mayor and then president. What he did at the time of military coup and how he has raised the level of Turkey nationally, internationally, at the level of in the Middle East at regional level and then internationally. So I would like to add a few points regarding the Turkish involvement, or you can say, uh, in Libya and then in Syria. As sir already discussed, that Turkey has a big role, or a great. They have a very vital role. Their interference against the Kurdish militias and their operations in Syria, in other countries of Middle East, especially in Libya. So I would like to talk about the Libyan civil war because that was very important. Uh, at the time of Libyan civil war, I think in recently in 2020, so Turkey, the Republic of Turkey, deployed troops to Libya in January 2020 to support the internationally recognized government based in Tripoli. And whereas in Syria, Turkish intervention stood against that of Russia, and which backed the opposition government based in Tobruk. So nevertheless, the intervention broke a year-long stalemate in the country's civil war and forced opposition fighters to retreat hundreds of miles before a ceasefire was announced in August. So this happened because of Turkish involvement. And at that time in 2020, the president was Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Then the ceasefire led to a period of rapprochement in Libya and an attempt at unity government that lasted through most of 2021. Then Turkey's interest in Libya extended beyond influencing the outcome of the war. However, its intervention was predicated on 2019 Maritime Agreement, an agreement that was signed in 2019 regarding maritime affairs with the government of Tripoli and Turkish government to create a shared maritime zone with Libya in exchange for support from Turkish military. The deal negotiated amid an ongoing dispute with Cyprus, as Dr. Saptan already discussed about the Cyprus conflict. So at that time, the ongoing Cyprus crisis was going on the issue of natural gas, and the deal, and also the natural gas and other deposits they were discovered in the Eastern Mediterranean that would allow Turkey to impose a barrier that would disrupt a planned undersea natural gas pipeline passing from Israel to Greece through Cyprus. Then again, Turkey played a very important role in Nagorno-Karabakh, a Karabakh conflict that was between Azerbaijan and Armenia from last 30 years. And Turkey has, showcased its resolve in pursuing its regional interests and offered a significant support for Azerbaijan armed forces, especially the drones, the Bayraktar drones are used in Second Karabakh War. And Russia, a guarantor for Armenian, security, brokered a ceasefire. And now Turkish troops are also deployed in Nagorno-Karabakh, or we call it Karabakh, because Karabakh is the internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan. So Turkey supported Azerbaijan a lot, especially in this Karabakh conflict. They had deployed their troops in the liberated territories. Moreover, they also played a very important role in case of the Russian attack on Ukraine. So economic and defense ties between Turkey and Ukraine grew, especially under the presidency of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Apart from backing, the potential accession of Ukraine into NATO and the European Union, Turkey sold dozens of, military vehicles. We call it unmanned aerial vehicles to the country in 2022 in February, and signed a free trade agreement as well with Ukraine. Following a full-scale invasion of Russian forces into Ukraine, later then, Turkey announced that it would resist, it would resist the movement of Russian troops, Russian warships into and out of the Black Sea in accordance with Montreux Convention. So this was a convention that was signed in 1936. So, I mean, there are much more to discuss about the policies of the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, but these are some of the important, the achievements, or you can say the decisions that are taken by the Turkish president and that are recognized internationally, and we consider it as, one of the, you can say one of the good and the renowned leaders of the Muslim world, and that is Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And he also supported, the cause of Kashmir. He supported the cause of Palestine and other issues faced by the, Muslim world, as well as the issues faced by other countries as well. So Turkish president always raised his voice for the people of Kashmir, for the people of Palestine, and all other people who are suffering around the world. So he had played a very detrimental role, and in his era, the Turkish foreign policy got strengthened, and Turkey is, growing and strengthening and advancing day by day, technologically, economically, and militarily. And that's it from my side. So thank you very much, Shehryar.
It was very enlightening session, and Dr. Sibtan is not here, so I would like to thank Dr. Sibtan and the points you raised and the way you summarized. It was very good. So, what should we do now? Am I supposed to end the session as we cannot have
Or
a question
Shehryar,
answer session?
if anybody want to ask any question, they are more than welcome. I would like to answer. If someone has any question, please ask.
Okay, so our guest, Dr. Syed Subtan Hadashiah, is not with us due to some technical difficulties. So we have President Youth Diplomacy Forum. If you have any questions, any difficulty you're facing with the issue, you can ask him questions directly or in the comment section. I will read it for you.
And Shehryar, also, Dr. Subtan is having some problem, and if it resolves, then maybe he can join us in few minutes.
Okay, that's good. So, any questions from the audience?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so our distinguished guest, Dr. Syed Subtan Shah, is now also in the meeting. So you can just wait for a while he's connecting to the audio, so you can ask the question directly to Dr. Syed Subtan Shah.
Sure.
Hello.
Yes, sir. So it was a wonderful session, and I would like to thank you for coming. You're able to listen, sir? Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Shehryar,
Hello.
you are audible,
Yes, sir.
Shehryar.
Am I audible to you, sir?
My voice is clear now.
Yes, sir. Your voice is now clear. Sir, it was a wonderful session having you on the board, sir. It was a very enlightening session. And now we are going towards our question and answer session. And Sir Eman Jamil would like to ask a question from you. So kindly, Eman.
Thank you very much.
Sir, can you please check your camera? Can you tilt it down, because it's
Is my camera is clear?
Uh, sir, if you can
Picture is
check.
not coming. My picture is not coming, or it's clear?
Yes, sir, we can see, but it's like moved in a vertical form. Your
Vertic,
face is,
it's here. Here is
yes, sir.
horizontal. It's
Yes,
clear
sir.
now?
Yes, sir. Now it's fine. Now it's fine, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. We are now moving towards our question and answer session. Emman, you can ask your question.
So recently there was a visit of Israeli president to Turkey. So what are your views on that? As Musawar Tanoli has said that Erdogan is advocating Palestinians. So what are your views on this regard?
In politics, might be internal politics or international politics, no object is certain or final. So it's depend on the national interest of a country. National interest of a country as a Turkey as a state or national state, they have recognized Israel for a long time, and still they have diplomatic relations, delegations visit from Israel and Turkey to each other countries. So they consider relation with Turkey for their own national interest. As for the Palestinian, so there are some other countries in the region. They started to accept Israel as a state, and they recognized and established their diplomatic relations, such as UAE and Bahrain. And Egypt and Turkey, they already accepted and have a diplomatic relation with Israel. Hello?
Yes, sir.
So why he is inclined towards Israel?
Why is Turkey as a, what is the question? Can you repeat, please?
So why he is inclined towards Israel?
Why Turkey is inclined to, Turkey has already accepted and recognized diplomatic relations with Israel. They have relation. And still Turkey, on one side, they are showing in the Islamic world that we are champion of the Muslims, but on the other hand, they are part of the NATO. So it's very complicated and difficult situation. And how you can define and analyze the policies of these countries, that on one hand, they have a very good relation with Israel and the United States of America. On the other hand, they are talking against the Israel and America.
Sir, I would like to add, if you allow me.
Yes, please.
Sir, as Ayman was saying that Israel is inclined towards Turkey. So I think, or Turkey is inclined towards Israel. So I think Turkey is not, inclined towards Israel, because if it is in the interest of Turkey, if it is good for Turkey for their economic development, or any other affair. So because as you already discussed that Turkey is having diplomatic relations with Israel, because when before Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Turkey was having good relations with Israel. But when he came to power, he cut down all the diplomatic relations and trade and other things with Israel. But now Tayyip Erdogan is, decided to move further, and you can say reestablish its diplomatic relations with Israel because of Turkey's economy and other economic developments, or technological advancement. So I think and also Turkish president repeatedly said that he supported the cause of Palestine, and he will continue to support the Palestinians till their liberation. So their support is on the one hand, but also Turkey's interests are also important. So I think uh, supporting Palestinians are they can support Palestine, and Turkey's support is, I mean, only few of the countries support Palestine openly. One is Pakistan and another one is Turkey. So these are the two countries who openly support Palestine. And if they have some interest from Israel, so they can, I mean, they are re-establishing their diplomatic relations with Israel. But on the other hand, they are also supporting, Palestine cause. So I think it's not a problem.
Yes, you are right, but here little bit different. That Pakistan situation is different from Turkey because Pakistan so far did not recognize Israel, and during the initial tenure of Erdogan, they did not cut the diplomatic relation. They might be decreased the economic cooperation and other cooperations, but they had at that time still embassies in each other countries. And secondly, that this is correct that recently Erdogan announced that we will increase our relation with Israel for our own national interest. If you look over the situation in the region, that is a very complicated situation. On one hand, the regional power is Saudi Arabia, and on the other hand, Iran, and Turkey is emerging regional and Islamic power in the region. So it's very difficult how these countries can decide and they can compete each other. Israel, Iran and Turkey has very good relation with each other. On other hand, Israel and Iran has very negative and critical relations. And Saudi Arabia and Israel, they are increasing their relation. And in the first step, some of the Arab countries, members of the Gulf Council, Regional Council, UAE and Bahrain, they recognize Israel. So very difficult situation, and how these countries protecting their own interest in light of the regional situation. So it is a complex situation, and regional. If you understand this situation in light of regional security complex, then you can analyze very easily that how these countries are shaping their foreign policy for the relations with each other. So how they protect their interests. Yes, please.
Sir, I would like to add a question. The Turkish president changed the status of Hagia Sophia into there was a museum and that was changed into a mosque. And Erdogan is portrayed as Islamic leader. So, what are your views regarding that?
I could understand that because there's a noise in your voice, so it was very
Okay,
difficult
sir,
to.
I'm going to repeat the question. I am asking that Turkish president changed the status of Hagia Sophia Museum into a mosque. So it is a mosque now. So what are your views regarding that?
Regarding the Hamas.
Yes, sir. Turning Hagia
Hamas.
Sophia into a mosque.
Regarding the Hamas,
Turning Hagia Sophia into a mosque, sir.
that is related to that stance is related to the various factors. Osmanism also one of the factors, nationalism also one of the factors, and in Islamism also. Three factors are involved in this. That how the Erdogan want to attract their people toward his actions, his policies. So that was one of the tactics to achieve more in the internal politics, and showing in the Islamic world also that to become one of the leaders of the Islamic world. So that could be, I think, one of the objectives of that action.
Thank you very much, sir. So anyone else would like to ask any question?
Yes, sir.
Please introduce yourself.
This is Gulnaka. Thank you so much for your discussion. I have a question regarding the premise as Mr. concerned with the strategic law. How I'll look forward while considering Turkey's as leading role, and it would like double at odds.
I couldn't understand that because
Gulnaka,
you are.
We couldn't understand. Can you please write down your question in the chat box? Because there was distortion from your side. Gulnaz Khan, can you hear us? If you please write down your question in the chat box. Does anyone else would like to ask any question or would like to add any points? Sir, I think here is a question from Gulnaz Khan in the chat box.
Can you read out, please?
Yes, sir. Turkey's diplomacy with regard to strategic bloc.
Strategic bloc, there's no clear indication of the strategic bloc. It's the Islamic bloc or the countries in the south, international south or global south. So which kind of bloc? That is not clear that in question. If regional bloc, so that is difficult.
So she's talking about Islamic bloc, I think. Turkish diplomacy.
Islamic bloc, there was an attempt by Turkey, Malaysia, and Iran. So, but there's less achievement. After that, when there was a meeting of the Islamic countries organization, and at that time, Malaysia called a meeting. So initially that was being successful, but there's no result of that attempt. So it's very difficult but it's possible if Turkey to play a role, or the Malaysia that Mahathir Mohamad has died now. So I couldn't think that it is possible in near future because of the many hurdles, many difficulties. There's ideological division in the Islamic world. So main pillars of the Islamic world, for example, Saudi Arabia on one side and Iran on the other side. And on the third part, Turkey. They have ideological differences with each other. For example, Saudi Arabia is leading the Sunni Salafi Islam. And that might not be acceptable for the other countries, many of the other countries. Iran being a leader of the Shia Muslims. So, and this Malaysia, which is also one of the Sunni states. So there are many differences between them. So it is very difficult. If they are putting aside sectarian differences and religious ideological differences, and then they can achieve a bloc. But already there's an organization, namely Islamic Country Organization, OIC, Organization of Islamic Country. If they put focus on that to achieve its goal, for example, it was 1976 when Zulfikar Bhutto called a meeting in Lahore, and that was a great achievement of the Islamic countries. So that was an Islamic bloc. So, but it is being observed that situation is different today. Islamic countries are divided, not only on the sectarian and ideological basis, but also because of their conflicting interest in the region. Saudi Arabia has a close relation with America. Iran is facing sanctions, and due to the sanctions, Pakistan is not implementing the gas pipeline projects. So there are many difficulties. Even due to the difficult situation of Afghanistan, Pakistan could not achieve to establish a pipeline, gas pipeline from Turkmenistan. So many difficulty in the Islamic world. ECO, there was organization of the one important part of the Islamic world. So that is also being felt due to their differences, not implementation of their projects. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So thank you very much for your time and the wonderful presentation and you had discussed in a detail. Anyone else would like to ask any question? Okay, so sir, we are ending up our session here. So thank you very much for joining us today in our session. It was very good topic about the Erdogan's personal beliefs and external policy of Turkey. So we are thankful for that you joined us today, and it was very insightful talk and a very wonderful discussion. You had discussed in a very detail about the Turkey's involvement at the regional level and then international level, and especially under the presidentship of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So we are ending up our session here and look forward to see you all in our upcoming sessions. Thank you very much, sir, again for joining us.
Thank you so much.